That is this new thing. How many hours do you think that you need to sleep? Go ahead, Alondra.
8 hours, I think.
Okay. Everybody agrees 8 hours of sleep for a teenager? Because the amount of sleep depends on how old you are, okay? Okay, so everybody agrees that teenagers should sleep 8 hours. Yes. Okay, so yes, that's correct. And a teenager supposedly should sleep between 8 and 10 hours. Between 8 and 10 hours. So what this means is that a lot of teenagers, probably the majority, are not getting the amount of sleep that they need. So I want each of you to be honest, be as honest as possible with me, and tell me, how many hours do you sleep? Okay, Diego Lopez and Sean Foster, hello, hello. Yes, go ahead, Daniel. How many hours do you sleep?
Sometimes when I sleep too late, I sleep just like 4 to 5 hours because I'm accustomed to wake up at
Accustomed.
I accustomed to wake up at 5 a.m. So I sleep, but when I sleep like the 10 o'clock, I sleep too much. Well, no, until 5 a.m.
Okay, so that's like 7 hours. So what time are you people going to bed? What time do you go to sleep? Be honest. Who wants to tell me? Emily, what time?
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Wow, Emily. Marcela.
From 1 to 2 a.m.
Oh my.
And I wake up at 5.
Oh my goodness. You people are not sleeping at all. So everybody here sleeps around 1 or 2 a.m. Or somebody sleeps earlier than that. Nicole, when do you sleep?
11 p.m.
11. Okay, Daniel, you already said sometimes 10, right? Daniel? Yes. Casey, what time do you sleep?
12 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Teacher,
Anybody here that sleeps earlier than that? Yes, Daniel, tell me.
Teacher, but sometimes I don't know if other people have the same thing that they wake up like the 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
If I go to bed at 10 p.m., I woke up at 3 a.m. and I can't sleep again.
This sounds like old people problems. I've heard grandpas have this problem.
I sleep at 1 or 2 because I have insomnia.
Oh my goodness, but you kids are so young. You're not supposed to be having these old people issues. Okay, so nobody here sleeps before 10. Nobody. I'm the only one that sleeps at 9 o'clock. Luis Harris, what time do you sleep?
I sleep
At
9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and I often don't sleep in the night.
Okay, so people, everybody, every one of you has an idea of how important sleep is, right? And let's discuss some of the things that you've heard of why sleeping is important. Tell me some of the things that you've heard. Who wants to start? What have you heard about sleep? Why is it important? Who wants to start? Let me call your names then. Alondra, what have you heard about sleep?
Okay, I think that sleep play an important role on physical health. For example, is involved in healing and repair of your heart and blood
vessels. Yes. Okay, what about you, Marcela? What have you heard about sleep? Why is it important?
When we don't sleep, we are killing our I don't know, neurons. I think that it's
neurons.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Isabella, tell me, why do we have to sleep?
So I hear that if you sleep a lot, your body grows.
Your body what?
Grow, like you grow, you are more
Oh,
or something like that.
okay. Okay.
Teacher,
Yes, Daniel.
I heard that sleep is like preparing your body for the next day.
Yes.
Because
Tomas, what can you tell me about sleep? Why is it important?
It's important to keep a good mental health, I think.
Yeah. Let me see. One more person. Daniela, tell me about sleep. Why is it important?
To think clear.
Yeah. Okay, so we already established that as teenagers, you should be sleeping at least 8 hours, right? Usually, the recommendation for teenagers is between 8 and 10 hours. None of you are getting 8 or 10 hours of sleep. So, this is affecting you. Okay, so we're going to watch a very short video, very short, that talks about what happens if you don't sleep. I want each one of you to pay attention to at least one of the things that he says that happens, and then we're going to discuss it. And as you are listening to that, I want every single one of you to think of one tip that you would give somebody who has trouble sleeping. I know Marcela mentioned that she has insomnia sometimes, so I'm pretty sure that you've heard a lot of tips, okay? So everybody, listen to at least one of the things that he says that happens to you if you don't sleep, and start thinking of one tip. Don't go Googling tips. I want it to come from your heart. One tip that would help people who can't sleep, because sleep is extremely important. Sleep is just like eating or taking a shower or drinking water. It's very important. It's not optional. But a lot of people struggle with sleep. So let's watch this short video, and then we're gonna discuss this. I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay. So, okay, people. So, each one of you, you're gonna share with me one important thing that you learned from this video about sleep, and start thinking about a tip. You're not gonna tell me the tip right now. You're just gonna tell me one thing you learned from the video about sleep. The video is about why sleep is important, particularly when you're a teenager. Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
we learned that the sleep is very important. A reason is because if we sleep minus or less than 6 hours, we have our probabilities
Yeah. Yes.
of a stroke is of 4.5 times.
Okay, now I'm really happy you brought that up, because a lot of times when we hear about stroke, and a stroke is a derrame, we've heard about derrame, we usually think about old people. Actually, I know a boy who's 13 years old, he's in 8th grade, and he had a stroke last year, or was it this year? Wait, I don't even know. I think it was this year. Who knows? Anyway, he had a stroke, and it was because of stress. It was last year. Last year, at the end of the school year, he's in another school, and he had a stroke because of the excess of stress. He had too much homework, and he wasn't sleeping at all, just trying to do all the homework. And he had a stroke, and he's 13. And his mom, who's my friend, well, she was my former neighbor when I lived at that other place. She told me that he came to her room and he said his head hurt really, really badly, and then he just fainted. And she tried to wake him up and she couldn't. So she put him in the car and ran to the hospital, and they told him He had a stroke and he was only 13 years old. So a lot of times we think that these are things that happen to old people. It can happen to anybody. The advantage is that since he was only 13, in a few days he was like back to normal. If he had been older, that wouldn't have been the case. But these things can also happen when you're young if you're not getting enough sleep and you're too stressed. So that's a great point, Danielle. Who else wants to tell me one thing you learned from this video? Yes, Marcela.
I learned that when you don't sleep, you are using all your energy in the day because you are exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. Another person? Should I call your names? Am I gonna have to call names?
Teacher?
Go ahead, Luis.
For example, when a teenager don't sleep, he don't concentrate in the class.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. One more person before we start. Okay, go ahead.
Assignation that he have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one more person before we start giving tips, and every one of you is going to give a tip. Okay, one more person. One thing that you learned from this video about sleep. Okay, I'm going to call names. Aldrit. Okay, Sean, what? Aldrit, you are saved by Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
That we need to sleep at least 10 hours, and adults from 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, 10 hours. People, are you sleeping 10 hours? Mm-mm. Okay, Aldrit, still, tell me, one thing you learned from the video.
That it is important to the body for to rest.
Okay. Did you understand that part about how there's a lot of garbage that accumulates in your brain and how sleep helps to flush it out? That's extremely important. And I know somebody might be thinking, like, how did garbage get in my head? What we're talking about are chemicals, right? Because we eat stuff during the day, we breathe in sometimes toxic air, and all of this accumulates in different parts of our bodies, including our brain. And so we need sleep for that to be able to clean out, to wash out. Good. Okay, tips. And I'm going to start at the top of my screen. Each one of you give me a tip. Go ahead, Alondra.
I think that one tip that I have for people that have problems to sleep is wake up at the same time each day, I think.
Wake up at the same time each day. Is that what you said? Yeah. Okay, good tip. Marcela.
Okay, how I say I have insomnia, and too many people say to me that I need to like make breathing exercise and that help you, but I make it a lot of times and it doesn't help.
Okay, so your tip is what?
And make breathing exercise. Maybe my body doesn't receive it, but maybe another body can do it. I do.
It doesn't work. Okay, so maybe
to me, it doesn't work.
Okay, got it. So maybe you think it would work for somebody else. Yes? Okay, Isabella, your tip.
Maybe drink hot milk in the night.
Does that work?
For some people, maybe.
Okay. Yes?
Excuse me, I'm late because I had bad connection with the internet. And my mom will notice the supervisor.
We hate cable onda, Christian. That's okay. Okay, Aldrit, look at the order. Aldrit, Danielle, Nicole, and then Denise. Go ahead, Aldrit. Give me one tip.
Eat and drink milk. Eat
don't know.
Wait, eat or not eat? What are you trying to tell me? Should I eat or should I not eat?
Eat.
Eat. Okay. That's an interesting tip. Daniel, give me a tip for falling asleep.
Well, teacher, if you have problems that you can't sleep, I would say that you have to get tired.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Run around in your yard or something?
Do some exercise, physical exercise to get tired. Because if you are awake, you have energy, no? Of my logic.
Okay.
So
Nicole?
you can, I don't know, run
around.
jump, do something.
Run around your yard and get tired and then go sleep. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Nicole, give me advice. One tip to fall asleep.
Maybe count sheep.
Count sheep. Does that work?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Do you people are giving advice you've never tried? Okay, so Nicole says count sheep. Denise?
I think listen relaxing music. I don't know.
Relaxing?
Yes, relaxing, but I don't know.
But you don't know. Relax, that sounds good.
Teacher?
Wait, Luis, wait. Let's go with Sean, then Daniela, then you. Go ahead, Sean. How do you not know? People, you all fall asleep. So what are the tips? What are the things that you do?
I just sleep and wake up.
Okay, so you just go to your bed and it comes. You sleep. Okay, you lucky boy. Daniela, one tip.
When I can't sleep, I used to do my homework.
Oh my goodness, no. That's traumatic.
And I get tired and I then fall asleep.
Okay, so you do your homework. Okay. Luis, go ahead.
Read a book.
Read a book. That's good advice. Emily?
I think that drink something can work.
Drink something like what? Oh, drink something.
Yes.
Yeah, but something like what?
Something.
Tea. Okay, so tea. Okay, Tomas?
My advice is go to sleep early.
Okay. Christian, what tip can you give us to fall asleep?
Oh, well, in my case, when I can't sleep, I used to eat food, then I can sleep.
It's always about eating with you.
But teacher, when you have food in your stomach, you can sleep comfortable and it's relaxing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Diego Lopez, one tip.
Stop using your phone at night.
Stop using your phone at night. That's actually really good. Really good. Casey?
Listen to something music.
Listen to music. Perfect. Okay, people. Some of the tips that you gave are really, really good. Now, I don't have trouble sleeping, but when I do, what I do and it works for me is that I start saying mentioning different countries that start with each letter of the alphabet. So for instance, I think of 10 countries that start with A, and I start Afghanistan, Albania, Andorra, Aruba, and I go like that. And I usually only reach until C and I fall asleep. Because sometimes, as somebody mentioned, like doing homework or reading a book or doing mental activity makes you sleepy, and it works. That works for me. But the thing is this, the important thing is this. You cannot, you have to find what works for you, because you can't think that because it worked for another person, it has to be the same for you. So maybe counting sheep works for one person, Or maybe running around the backyard works for another person, or taking a warm shower works for someone. You got to find what works for you, because the important thing here is that you have to sleep more. Sleep is necessary, especially at your age. When you get older, you're going to need less sleep. But right now, you need a lot of it because most of you, all of you, are still growing. Okay, so Marcela, you mentioned that sometimes this, I think you said meditation. What was the thing that they told you to do? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. What really works for you? Because I know you shared at the beginning that you have insomnia sometimes. How do you handle that?
I don't know. I think that my body is exhausted and then it sleep. But we can say that I go to bed like at 10 and it's 1 a.m. and I can't sleep. I read, I count sheep, I do things that you say and it doesn't work for me.
So then when you finally fall asleep, what are you doing so that you can finally fall asleep? Just waiting? Just wait for the sleep to come? Wow, that's not nice. That's horrible. I'm sorry you have to go through that. Because sleep is so delicious. Anybody else here has trouble falling asleep? None of the rest of you have trouble falling asleep, but you're sleeping at 2 a.m. So explain that to me. Why are you going to sleep at 2
We
a.m.?
don't sleep because we don't want to.
You don't want to sleep. Okay, Diego, tell me more about that. What's going to happen if you sleep?
I don't know. A demon can catch my legs and pull it or something.
Oh, come on. How old are you? Those are the thoughts that you have when you're 8 years old, not when you're what, 12, 13, 14? No, come on. Okay, so Diego also mentioned something that I think is really great tip about not using your cell phone. So how many of you fall asleep watching TV or scrolling through your cell phone? Diego, who else? You fall asleep watching TV or looking at your cell phone? Casey, who else? Daniel. Okay. And Nicole and Denise. Oh, it's a lot of you. People, and Emily. People, what can you do to not do that? Because one of the tips, a very important tip for falling asleep is making sure, I'm going to give you 3. Making sure your room is not hot. And I know that's kind of hard in Panama because sometimes it gets really hot here. But when it's hot, it's harder for you to fall asleep. So make sure your room has a very nice temperature. The second thing is make sure your room is dark. I know a lot of people like to sleep with light. I'm one of them. I need to see the light to fall asleep. But darkness is actually what your body needs. And another important thing is not falling asleep looking at a screen, be it TV or cell phone, because it keeps you awake, because it stimulates your mind. So those of you who fall asleep looking at your phone or watching TV, what can you do to stop doing that? What would be a good way to stop doing that? Let's see, Tomas, I know you said you don't have social media, so that's probably not an issue with you. What advice would you give somebody who's gotten accustomed to falling asleep just scrolling through their phones or watching TV? What advice would you give them to not do that?
Turn off your phone.
Yeah, but if it's there, you're going to want to see it, so turn it off. What else can you do?
Delete the app.
You're so radical. Okay, so turn off your phone is great advice. Something that I would also say is put your phone in another room. Like, leave your phone in the living room and go to your room, or leave it in the kitchen or in your mom's bedroom and go to your room. Just be far away from it, because the stimulus that's going to come from looking at your phone and all the colors and all the lights is actually going to keep you awake longer. So just make sure your phone is far, far away. Okay. Those of you, well, Diego said he doesn't sleep because he doesn't want to sleep. I guess you think you're going to miss something out if you do sleep. He says a monster is going to pull his foot, which is not true. But those of you who are sleeping at 2 a.m., what's keeping you awake other than the TV and the phone? What else?
Okay, teacher. In my case, sometimes it's not that I doesn't want to sleep early, but sometimes I go to academy like 4 p.m. Go out like 10 p.m. and fall asleep at 12 p.m. or 1 a.m.
Wait, so you go to your dance lessons until 10 in the night?
Yep, or 9 p.m.
Oh my goodness.
I go out.
Yeah, I got tired just listening to that. Wow. Okay, so after you exercise that much, it's hard for you to fall asleep?
No, because I'm so tired for the class. I'm going and go to the bed.
Yeah. How many of you have a sleep routine, like something you do every night before you go to sleep? No? Nobody has a sleep routine? No? Okay, so that's another good tip. You need to establish a sleep routine. For instance, before you go to sleep, you take a shower, you drink some tea or something, you read a book, you sleep. And then you do that every single night for years. That also helps because then your body knows, she's taking a shower. That means that she's going to sleep in a few minutes. And your body starts preparing itself for sleep. Versus you're randomly playing and then suddenly you fall in the living room and sleep and then somebody takes you to your bed. Okay? So another good tip would be to develop a sleep routine. So let's talk a little bit about that. One of you tell me what would be a good routine that works for you. I already told you mine. I take a shower. I read a book. I actually read 2 books. I read one that's a comedy and the other one that's a self-help book. And then I go to sleep. So I take a shower, I drink some ginger tea. I don't like tea, but I started drinking ginger tea because I have really special lungs. So I take a shower, I start sipping my tea while I read one book. Like I read one chapter, then I read one chapter in the other book, then I go to sleep. So by 9:30, between 9 and 10, I'm out. Okay, that's my routine and I do it every single night. And yeah, it sounds very boring, but that's the idea. It's supposed to be boring because I'm gonna sleep. So tell me, what would be a good routine that would work for you? Let's see, who have I not spoken to? Well, all of you have spoken. Nicole, what would be a good routine that would work for you? Remember, it doesn't have to be exciting and fun. It has to be boring because you're going to sleep. What would be a good routine for you? 2, 3 things that you could do before falling asleep.
Repeat, teacher.
I just mentioned to you what is my sleep routine. A routine, something that you do every night in exactly the same way, which prepares your body to sleep. So like I said, I take a shower, I sip some tea, I then read one chapter from one book, then one chapter from another book, and then I sleep. My body just knows from the time I'm taking a shower, I'm sleepy. My body knows that's my routine. And so it's very healthy to establish a routine of something that you do every single night in exactly the same way. So I'm asking Nicole, what would be 2 things? My routine has 4 steps: shower, tea, book, book. What would be 2 things that you could do in your routine that would help you fall asleep, Nicole? You don't know? Oh, come on, Marcela, tell me.
Take a shower, brush my teeth, go to the kitchen for a glass of water, and on the lights, go to bed.
Okay, that's a good routine. And it's something that you do every single night, until your body understands that what comes after is sleep. Let's see, Casey, what would be a good routine for you?
I think take a shower and watch TV to a movie boring.
Okay, so take a shower and watch a boring movie. Okay. Diego, what would be a good routine for you?
I don't know, teacher.
Christian, give me an idea of a good routine that would work for you.
I will eat some bread with tea, then brush my teeth, and finally sleep. I can use my imagination while I'm sleeping, like thinking things in my head, and finally go to sleep. That's because I can sleep properly and comfortable because I can use my imagination, and then I have nightmares, but that's okay.
Oh my goodness, you have nightmares? Oh no, that's not nice.
I
Okay.
know.
Sean Foster, what would be a good routine for you?
I will just take a shower, brush my teeth, and watch a little bit of TV.
Okay, so what kind of shows do you watch on TV? Because Casey said she would watch a boring movie. What would you watch, Sean?
Cartoons.
Yeah. Isabella, what would be your routine?
Take a shower, brush my teeth, and drink and drink a tea or a hot thing or something like that, and take my dog to my bed and sleep.
Oh, you sleep with your dog? Nice.
Sometimes.
Nice. Danielle, what would be a good routine for you? I'm coming back to you, Nicole Liu.
Hear
Back.
an audiobook
Listen to an audiobook. Okay.
or listen to music.
Oh, that's really nice. That's true. Music works for a lot of people. A lot of people fall asleep with music. Yep. Nicole, tell me.
I could brush my teeth, clean my face, read a boring book, read a song, and then fall asleep.
Okay. Alondra, what were you want? Did you raise your hand? Go
Okay.
ahead.
This is a routine that I do every night. Go for the academy, get out of the academy, go for my home, take a shower, then eat something, then brush my teeth and sleep.
Okay. And that works for you.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the point is this. You need to sleep. You're not sleeping enough. You need to sleep. And maybe now that you're teenagers, you're gonna be like, what is she talking about? We're strong. Yeah, but you're not gonna be a teenager forever. At some point you're gonna hit 20, then 30, then 40. Remember what we talked about last time about 50s and 60 years old. You're gonna get there. And you wanna get there looking good and feeling healthy. A lot of the older people that we know didn't become like that because of their age. It's because they didn't take care of themselves when they were your age. So if you take care of yourself at your age, when you get to my age or more, you're going to be healthy. You're not going to have to be drinking 10 pills every day or going to the doctor every few days or, have the blood pressure and the diabetes and this. No. If you start taking care of your health from now. Now, if you're lying down in your bed and it's been like 20 minutes and you still can't sleep, get up. Go find something else to do because you don't want your mind to think that your bed is a place of torture. That's the place where you go and you just suffer. So find something else to do and keep this trying to discover what would be a routine that would help you relax enough to go to sleep because sleep is extremely, extremely important. Okay? It helps you to grow, it helps you to become a better person, and it helps you to study better. Okay, so that's that. Do you have any questions for me about your advanced oral skills assignment for this week? You know what you have to do, right? Think about all the topics we've discussed, pick 3, and just give me a short, brief summary of each one. and that's it. Okay? Okay, so people, this is our last class for this trimester. And so this has been really good. Now remember something important. Advanced oral skills is optional. You don't have to be in the advanced class. If you don't like the advanced class because you think it's too difficult or too whatever, you can change and go to another class, okay? So now that the trimester is gonna change, this is the time when you can actually tell your parents, contact Mr. Supervisor and tell him, I don't think the advanced class is good for me. I wanna go to the intermediate or the basic, okay? You are not obligated to be here. You're here because you want to be. And if you don't want to be here, you can easily change. And I'm not going to get sad, okay? Everybody understands that? Yes? Also, if you know of other students who have really good English and you think they should be in this class, you can also recommend, tell me, and then we can have them in this class. I remember last year, for instance, for a long time, it was only Tomas Carvajal and I in this class, only the two of us. And that was interesting sometimes. And then little by little, the others started coming. So if you have a friend in another group that you know their English is good, you can tell me, you can send me an email, or you can tell me right now, and we are gonna set that up. It's a voluntary thing. It's not an obligation. Okay, so do you have any questions for me? Ask me one question. Do you have any suggestions of friends who should be here? Yes, Christian.
This assignment, what is the education?
What is the what?
That's by, I lost the word, teacher.
What word? Go look for it. Look for the word. Word, come back to Christian. What's the word?
Deadline.
Deadline. What's the deadline for what?
For this assignment, the audio.
Oh, if it doesn't have a date, the deadline is just Friday. Because remember, this module 7 is only 1 week. And then you have your exams, okay? So if I didn't put a date on it, your deadline is Friday. Any other questions? No questions? No suggestions? Nobody? No friends who speak English? Okay. Okay, people. So then I'll see you next time, next trimester. Have good exams and enjoy your 1 week vacation. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, teacher. God bless you.
Bye. Amen.
Teacher.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.